So we have on stage Roopa, Ravikumar and Purnima Venkatesh from SAP Labs. Welcome both of you. And they're going to present on unconscious bias in technical writing. Now, before we move ahead, let me give you a brief introduction about them. Roopa Ravikumar. She specializes in knowledge management and technical communication. She comes with 20 years of experience and has been with SAP Labs since 1999. Roopa is currently the global program lead managing user assistance programs for the SAP Internet of Things IoT and is a part of the focus group that drives the future user assistance strategy and innovations at SAP. Now, Purnima Venkatesh. She is one of the pioneers in technical writing field in India. She has been in the technical writing field for 20 years and has worked in companies such as Infosys, EMC, VMware and Ariba. Currently at SAP Labs India, she has the documentation for install-based management system suite of applications. Her responsibilities include providing effective user content that help customer reap maximum business value. Welcome to STC.
What will be taken care because you almost blocked everything from that.
Good morning once again.
Purnima
and sir, welcome to the session Unconscious Bias in Technical Communication. What are we going to talk about today? Topics that we will cover. Let's know what unconscious bias is all about. We'll give you a very brief introduction about that. How we go about recognizing our own biases. How can we tackle this, especially at a workplace? And we will touch base diversity and inclusion topics. We will look at how we can move from concept to action. Let me start with some statistics. Yeah. Recently, Harvard Business Review did a survey, and they kind of identified top 100 CEOs for 2016. For 2016, top 100 CEOs were identified. How many do you think had MBAs out of those 100? Can you guess the number? How many had MBAs? How many of them had their master's degree? Any number?
75.
75. Anything else?
5 to 10.
Sorry?
5 to 10 of them.
5 to 10?
20.
20, I think, yeah, close. 24 of them. So typically what we think is when we have to reach that level, we have to have certain degrees, certain stuff. That's just a small example. They also identified women who made it to top 100. Everyone is talking about diversity. Everyone is talking about women empowerment. Topics like unconscious bias and things like that. Everyone is going go about it. Yeah. So how many women made it to top 100 this year? Any guesses?
20, 25.
25?
30.
30?
Maybe less than 5.
Less than 5? Anything else?
15.
15? 2 of them. 2 women made it in the top 100. Yeah? So study shows that looking at the data, 708 private companies found that diversity trainings that are going on didn't really produce more diverse workforces. Possibly one of the reasons could be the bias. Are you biased? You are. You are. And so I am. So everyone has biases. It's a part of being human. It's very important not to be ashamed of this fact. Let's look at how we overcome this. I would like to tell you why we chose this topic today. Yeah? Purnima, do you want to share the event that we attended and why we thought about this topic?
I love telling the story because it's very close to my heart actually. So we attended this Women in Tech Forum symposium that happened, and there was this lady who came up on stage. She was a chief guest, she was a keynote speaker, and she was dressed in a sari. She looked like the auntie next door, the lady who would call you home for a cup of coffee and who would give you haldi kumkum before you left the house. So she came up on stage and she started talking, and she just blew me away. She just took my breath away. Do you remember what she talked about?
She spoke about robotics. She spoke a lot about technology.
She talked about artificial intelligence. It was simply mind blowing. I realized, and I think that was the first time I took ownership for the unconscious bias that I had, because I always believe that I'm today's woman and I know I'm there and doing it all and all of that. But I realized that I have my own unconscious bias too, which I think is what led us to take on this topic.
So unconscious bias actually happens automatically by making snap judgments based on our background, culture and environment, personal experiences, past experiences, social stereotyping. Yeah, when you see women dressed in a sari, when you see women with a Western outfit, I think there is something that runs in your mind. Yeah, not consciously, unconsciously, because of our background, because of our culture, various aspects. Yeah, there are different types of biases. One is conscious bias. Yeah, which is very explicit. One is unconscious. We just don't know. The example where Purnima gave, this lady, she was just a part of the audience, and then she was just sitting amongst the audience. And when they called out her name, they gave her an introduction. And when they said that she comes with 35 years of experience, and she set up the robotics team in that factory, in that.
She was actually the CEO at that.
She's actually the CEO. And then comes this lady. So we actually, when we hear about a person's profile, we are already making certain perceptions, certain things. So you kind of feel, okay, this person might be like this. And then she walks up the stage and there's a shift. Yeah. So unconscious bias is far more widespread than conscious. With that, let us look at different types of unconscious bias.
Yeah, there are, who knew? We didn't even know about unconscious bias. Now there are types of unconscious bias. So the first one is homophily, where it's the love of the same. So people who come from my state, people who come from my background, people who come from my school, my college, the list goes on, the list is endless. People who have the same kind of hobbies that I do. I love knitting and crocheting. Anybody who knits and crochets is my best friend forever types. So that's the first kind of unconscious bias that we're looking at. And then there's the in-group versus the out-group, the us versus them, which again, you create this group that you're comfortable about. Okay, let me make one thing very clear. In your personal life, this works. Of course, I mean, it's your personal life. No one can tell you how to live it. We live in a democratic country still, so we don't have to worry about that. But when you come to a workplace, it is important that we are able to put this aside and go beyond. You cannot bring all these personal prejudices into the workplace. We at least should strive to overcome them. So there's the whole in-group versus out-group. You tend to take people who come from your college, who come from your state, who come from your school. So that's one. That's the second kind of unconscious bias. The third is, of course, the one that's most widely known, the stereotyping. All blondes are dumb, all women are like this, all men are like this, all North Indians are like this, all South Indians are like this. I mean, that list also goes on. So we have a lot of stereotypes that we work with. And the final one is the confirmation. We want people who confirm to rules that I have set up. So the example there talks about this guy who's a golf player, and there are a couple of people who work under him who play golf with him, and he is biased towards them compared to another person who can't play golf. So he may have had a physical disability. But when it comes to work, they're all on the same level. But then this unconscious bias stops him from being able to, confirm and being able to include the other person. He is more biased towards the two whom he can play golf with. So these are the kinds of unconscious bias that we all work with, every day of our lives we have this happening in our minds.
Having talked about types, conscious we know, at least it's easy to identify, but unconscious it's difficult. And all the statistics, let me read it out for you. We receive about 11 million bits of information every moment, We can only consciously process about 40 bits. our conscious mind then is processing only a minute fraction of what our unconscious mind is processing. This means 99.99996% is unconscious. Yeah? Let's look at how can we recognize our own biases. First, be honest with yourself. The example we shared, seeing why we felt this, is really to also recognize how biased we are when we heard about the person's profile. Yeah? Be honest with yourself about stereotypes, especially that affect you. Yeah?
We think that women make, as a woman, I feel that a woman manager is more empathetic and should be more fair to me, and so also vice versa. I'm sure the men have they're more decisive, they're able to be more professional, is what the men think, with male managers. So that is that's one thing that we can recognize about ourselves and try and transcend it. When it comes to recruitment, you have to ensure that you are doing when you read resumes, look at them alongside each other, so that when you're looking at every part of the resume, you put it side by side. So if you're looking at tools, for example, you have two resumes. You don't know if it's a guy or a woman, where they are from. Don't look at the personal details first. In fact, maybe you should tell people to put their personal details at the end of the resume. So you look at the tool knowledge, for example. What are the tools that this person knows versus what are the tools that the other person knows? Soft skills. What does this person have to bring to the table, and the other one. So when you compare a resume like this, you're able to be a little more balanced. You don't have these unconscious biases running in your mind.
Also, the job ads that we give, choice of words, technical writers, I think we have that eagle's eye to kind of pick on every word and things like that. We have to ensure that the wording on your job advertisement should not really favor one particular group of people and so on. Yeah? The language that we use sometimes also makes people very uncomfortable. The words, whether it's oral communication or written communication, but the words that we use, we have to be very careful, especially words like discrimination, dominance, racism, and it can have a lot of negative reactions. Yeah. So when people speak these words, others kind of try to focus on what it means to them. Yeah. Just another example. Native English speakers. How many of you have heard about that? Native English speakers.
And how many of us
Everyone, especially
consider ourselves to be native?
Yeah. Especially if you're a technical writer, native English speakers. I think all of us would have heard. Yeah. What's the first thing that runs in your mind as an Indian? We say native English speakers, but we have our first language proficiency English. So when you use these strong words like native, we want native English speakers to be hired for this and this company, automatically probably a set of people don't even apply for that job simply because we think we are not suited for that. Yeah. So the job ads that you give, the words that you use, the way that you talk to people, very important. Let's also look at how we can tackle these. Yeah. Awareness. Increase self-awareness. Understand the hidden biases that goes beyond our usual perceptions. Yeah. The other one I would say is empathy. You have to have the ability to feel, imagine how this affects the other person. There are tons of it. There are a lot of ways in which you can tackle, but we've identified the 4 important ones that are really needed, like awareness, empathy, exposure, mixing with variety of people. Yeah. How many of you here in this group are sticking with your own people? How many of you are from Cisco or any other company? You tend to be with your colleagues all the time, though you're at a conference. Conferences are meant to be for networking. Yeah, we don't go up to people and really shake hands and introduce ourselves. We do, but very little. We don't make the best use of these conferences. Stuff like that. Inclusion, very small gestures of respect. This can really help.
Yeah. Inclusion, I think, is a very, it's not said enough. We have, when you're setting up a team in your company, maybe for example, try and be more inclusive. You have to be conscious of the bias that you have and go beyond it. I will include. Let me try and this time recruit somebody who's I have all women in my team. Let me try and recruit a guy. I will at least be conscious of shortlisting male resumes and looking at them. or maybe all of us are South Indians, let me go and look for a North Indian. Try and be aware. I'm not saying that you have to be biased or you have to be prejudiced, but you have these within us. So be aware of them so that we can go beyond them.
We have within us. Let's take another example. Auto rickshaws, autos, yeah, in India. Typically when we get an auto, we assume the auto driver is always a male. Yeah. If it is a female by any chance, then oh, nice. Yeah. Go back 10 years back. Whenever you went to a petrol station to fill your petrol for your vehicles, the people who worked there were only men. Yeah. Of late, the last 5 to 10 years, I think trend has changed. If you go to Shell petrol bunk or anywhere like that, you, especially in India, yeah, I'm talking about India, you also see women working there. Yeah. So it's changing. We are trying to change, but we still have to go a lot more. Yeah. Earlier again, when we talk about receptionists, people always felt a receptionist, the front desk, it's always a woman. Yeah, it's always a woman. Pretty woman. I like that. Yeah.
I have one more point that I would like to make about inclusion. I think it is very important for us to make our group more inclusive. You have to have people from different generations working in your team. I think they bring a lot to your decision-making process. There's a lot that they can teach, and there's a lot that the younger generation can learn. So have people from the baby boomers to the Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z. Okay, I'm getting old.
No, I am also.
I had not heard of Gen Z.
Actually,
that's true. I joined in '96. I joined Infosys. I think on the first day of my job, I found out that there was, I was just lucky. I found out that there was a tech writers meetup happening. Somebody from SE Technologies had, set up a small tech writing, just a meetup. It was not a, it wasn't a conference or anything. And it was happening at it wasn't an office, I don't remember where it was. But there was this group of, there was a large group. The largest group there was from Verifone. And I think there were like 7 or 8 girls and 1 guy.
Lucky guy.
And all of us from Infosys, we were all girls. We weren't even women, we were all girls there. A large, even when 1999 was the first conference that happened in Bangalore.
1999, I attended that. Yeah, I think Gurudat Kamath, he was the president of SPC.
Yes.
And I also, typically in these SPC conferences, we take this group photograph. Yeah, I still have that group photograph. I think we were about 150, 200. I don't remember the exact numbers. If any one of you have that photo back at your desk, just go back, take the photo and look at it. It's mostly women, very few men, and pockets here and there. Yeah. So earlier, especially in India, the job technical writer was mostly associated with women. We got this example because technical writers are always, meant for women, and very few men pick up. But now it's not like that. Yesterday I was quite impressed. I think the ratios are kind of reversing. I see a lot of men.
I was upset about it though.
Yeah.
I thought that this was our forte. Unfortunately, we have to give this up also. But
and also subject matter experts back in your groups. Yeah, I think it's quite common. They kind of dumb it down just because.
Are we even aware of this? I think we are not even aware of this. This is a very good, a point for what unconscious bias is. How many SMEs dumb it down for us? Or they really, just because you're a woman, and on top of that you're a technical writer, so you have absolutely no technical knowledge. So I'm not going to give you the basics. I'll start from how to switch on the computer maybe. Sometimes it's at that level.
No, it's also more towards today. If you're an engineer, you can understand complex products.
I think I have that. Yeah, it's not to do just that you're a woman.
Correct.
Yeah, it's to do with also the role. You are a technical writer, or this meeting is for architects and product owners. It's a very technical topic. Do you want to attend? I will leave you as an optional attendee. They're very sweet, yeah, by the way. They're very sweet.
They don't want to offend you.
They don't want to offend you. They're very nice. But there's already an assumption that they have made that if you are a technical writer, you can't understand technical details.
And then you go into the meeting and you come up with points, and they're shocked. Oh my God, this girl actually talks, and she talks sense too.
So managers who hire, I think this is very important. Like, did you speak about the resumes? I think during the job, she was telling, when you get the resumes, keep them side by side. Don't look at the names. Don't look at whether it's a man or a woman, but kind of look at the skill sets and then look at the role that they're going to play, what the job description says, and see whether they're suited for the role or not. Yeah. Handling the expectations. Yeah. I think trends have changed. If you've been a writer for over 10 years and you see the newer hires in your team, I think with age there's quite a big space there, and then we got to handle the expectations of these Gen X baby boomers, like she said, and sometimes it's interesting. With that, let me share this. Yeah, I think Purnima said I joined SAP. I think I joined SAP in '99, and I became a manager in 2005. Yeah, 2006, I think we hired a new person who was 15 years older to me. Yeah, he came not with technical writing experience, but he had very rich industry experience, and he was also a manager for a very long time. So I kind of liked that he was a part of our team. The rest of the team, I think the rest 10 or 12 were with 1 or 2 years experience. So there was this huge. Whenever we used to have these team meetings, and we had to make decisions, somewhere after everyone spoke, I would also ask him, "What do you think?" I think it was a kind of an unconscious bias that probably he will have more knowledge or something else that we've not discussed in the group. Yeah, and for all you know, a fresher in the team might have a better idea, but it's just the bias that we have. Yeah. So handling expectations, how to manage teams, what do you have to keep in mind when you do these things is very important. Yeah, age-based stereotypes and how to bridge these generation gaps. Moving to diversity and inclusion, concept to action. I think this is a common topic. Back in your companies, all of you are already doing. Management is, I think, very active when it comes to these stuff. They have a lot of seminars, sessions.
Oh, by the way, we missed the GHCI, the Grace Hopper Women's Conference in Bangalore, because it clashed with these days.
Yeah.
So please, everyone remember next time, let's go there also.
Yeah, so you can create a well-documented plan. Then I think incorporating diversity principles within business units or even within the company, I think is quite common. I don't know how many companies now feel you need more women. I think managers are getting really conscious, yeah, especially men managers. They say, I think the ratio is not so good. We have to have more men in the team, or vice versa. We have to hire more women in the team so that we kind of bridge the gap and stuff like that. So you have to create opportunities for cross-generational work teams and interactions. Make sure you invest in team building and leadership. Hold yourself accountable. With that, we say all of these, yeah? And I think sometimes it's very important also. I have a little statistics again. If you're wondering why I'm looking at the phone, I don't have notes on the paper, I have it on the phone, go green, yeah? So let me read it out for you. McKinsey research shows that gender diverse companies are 15% more likely to outperform their peers. So, yeah. Catalyst research this year said that companies with more women on the board statistically outperform their peers over a long period of time. It's sometimes surprising, sometimes it's very obvious. Deloitte Australia research said that inclusive teams outperform their peers by 80% in team-based assessments. Yeah, interesting ones. So what can we do now?
Yeah. These are your takeaways from here. We encourage you to deliberately slow down your decision process, be aware of your unconscious bias, and reconsider your reason for every decision that you make. Am I making it for the right decision, for the right reasons? Am I hiring this person for? And you have to put down your reasons for why you're doing something, and then you ensure that you do all of this. Question your cultural stereotypes. monitor your unconscious bias. It's very important. You know, it's not something that you do. Okay, I'm doing it today and I'm done with it. It is something that we have to do in every day of our life, in every walk of our life, not just when it comes to. I think this is something that we can take beyond work culture. We can't cure unconscious bias, but with self-awareness, we can at least overcome it.
I agree. If you go to Google, if you kind of do a search, there are also tons of e-learning materials available on this topic, especially. Yeah? And there are lots of seminars, workshops, training sessions. I'm sure there are lots of training sessions back in your companies itself. But what I strongly encourage is probably you can think of doing staff surveys, that is smaller surveys within your own groups, within your own units, to assess the unconscious bias before and after the training. Yeah, one is the training part, but the initial statistics where I gave, it's only 2 women identified in the top 100, where I gave how many of them had CEOs. How much of it, how much value are we taking out of these trainings? Yeah, what are we doing about it? Are we still biased? Is it fetching results? These are some of the things that we got to consider. So staff surveys would be one pointer there. With that, we don't want to, I think, bore you with too many things. I would say act now. Yeah? Commit to becoming aware of your unconscious bias. Stop, think, act. Yeah.
Unconscious bias is like a pair of sunglasses. Everything you see through them are tinged. So let's take off the sunglasses, let's let go of our unconscious bias, and then we can sail in harmony.
Instead of saying we have any question and answers, anyone of you would like to share your experiences?
Any kind of unconscious bias that you have come across, or our talk has made you aware of?
Okay, if you're seeing in a team building exercise or anything like that, even if you've not done, I always believe in risk profiling, and you've not done it, and you don't know what the team is or what is, especially inherited team, and they are very loyal to their previous manager. You have to go across that hurdle to establish yourself as a manager. I've had that experience. And what has happened is either your reputation precedes you, or they see you and they think, okay, she's not whatever it is. So the team will give you the teething problems till you establish that you can do it. It takes a lot of time, and it's a very steep curve, especially for people who are transitioning into the managerial positions that way. And I think as managers, we tend to, new managers, when you inherit a team, we tend to go and lean on to the people who have really accepted us. And we try to pile them with so many other decision-making processes. They may not be very good decision makers. They may not be very good team players and things like that.
But just because they were the first ones who accepted you.
Yeah.
You think there's one bonding.
Correct. And it happens also in writing. So when I'm having a technical writing project, first thing I think is, let me give this person an opportunity to, because he accepted me. That is what we do, and I think we should come out of that. That's my experience.
Being aware of our own unconscious bias is important. The examples that we gave were our own experiences. Yeah. At the end of every session, we would think, "Oh my God, we thought like this, but it didn't turn out like that."
Yeah. Go ahead, Manish.
So basically, this unconscious bias that you talked about, right? I don't think it's endemic only to tech pubs teams, right?
No.
I mean, it's probably also
It's a
developed
generic
in
topic.
people. So I think as Kiran said, especially in the tech writing fraternity, what both Kiran and I probably would echo the same thing. More often than not, the perceived reputations seem to precede the people, and they miss out on good chances. People just don't even look at their resumes. I think that's something which is very unfortunate. Word of mouth goes a long way, and good people, probably not so good people, get the jobs.
Empathy. I would only say empathy for this. I think we need to be more empathetic, more.
Right.
I understand you. I have the same.
You get that, right?
Yes, very much. So.
Yeah.
Especially when you have been around
And
so
especially
long.
for leadership positions.
And also, especially when you've been around for so long.
Yes.
People would have made a snap judgment 20 years ago.
Oh,
they're still holding on to
absolutely.
it.
And they forget that the person is probably not going to be the same 20 years from now. That's pretty sad. So any tips on how that can be worked around?
I feel that, I mean, all I can say, we are aware of what is happening to us. One more thing that was a very interesting find is, it is easy for us to see unconscious bias in other people. It's very difficult for us to look at it in ourselves. So I think the first step is to, for us it's easy to say, oh, she's being partial, or he's favoring that person. But to say that I have unconscious bias too, and to be aware of it I think that's the first step to being a little more acceptable.
Maybe group discussion is another one. Just have a group discussion on a particular topic and really have unconscious bias in the scope, so that everyone recognizes each other's. Sometimes it's very, very difficult to recognize our own biases. So you have that discussion and say, are you thinking this way because of this? Are you thinking this way just because you come with 15 years experience, or is it something else?
So do we have any questionnaire sort of thing where we'll say, okay, these are the type of unconscious bias we have? There's so many research.
There are lots. That's why I said there are a lot of webinars, a lot of seminars that are happening.
This is a big thing that's coming out. I haven't heard it in all these years.
If you ask me questions, I will know whether I'm unconscious towards a situation or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So if you have some, say, 10 questions.
One more thing is, again, like you said, have a group discussion. So your whole team is aware. So when you are tackling a decision, there's somebody who will, pull up this point and say, are we making this decision for these reasons? We may not be able to think on that line, but if there's somebody else, so all of y'all are aware of it. You can be a check for another. Like I said, it's easy for me to look at it in you. So if I'm with you in a team, I can tell you, Kiran, are you making this decision because you're from Tamil Nadu and you like Tamil, or you're from Andhra also, so you also like, something
All
like that.
North Indians are like this. All South Indians are like this.
Before it was, it was like that. All the South Indians were Madrasis in the 1980s for all the North Indians.
Everyone said
Everybody.
that.
And the first thing is you notice is, they'll talk about it. But what are the challenges you see in technical writing? This is an industry which is growing so fast, and we keep saying it's growing even now because I know I've been here and I'm becoming a dinosaur after some more years. So what happens as challenges in technical writing? How do we look at this as unconscious? So there are lots of team challenges you have. You'll also have, because it's unconscious bias, you'll also have lots of team building on politics. We're not using that word here, but then there are lots of other
Actually, yes, that is we are being politically correct in our whole presentation, but that is the hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah.
All of this is what gives rise to your politics.
Correct.
All of this is what gives rise to it. So if you are able to become aware of it and try, yes, I mean, you can come up with that yourself. There's a lot of information available on the net. There's a very nice video from Google about unconscious bias, how your mind is processing information. Why do we make these snapshots?
To be very honest, it's not like we are experts in this topic. We are also learning in the process. The reason we kind of pick this topic is it just happens without our knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, it happened to us. It happens to all of you. So let's think about it and act.
But actually, I like the generation now. They just come and say, "Can I call you Kiran?"
There are a lot more.
Please do.
Yeah,
I don't know. But they don't like to call me ma'am or madam or sir or whatever. They say, "I want to call you Kiran." Is it okay? Yeah, fine. So,
I see that in my
probably
daughter.
they'll be as old as my son, 24 years. But then that's okay.
Same here. I see it in my daughter too. I mean, she's 17 years old and she's always going on about how there are stereotypes and how she at least is doing her best. Why are they so scared? Why do they always look at us as stereotypes? Yeah. I have one.
So how?
that I would
I have
like
one
to share.
question. Just one.
Go ahead.
So if you're having a global team, you don't see them virtual teams, and it's a global village, it's not a borderless thing. So how do you think this is going to affect? And you also talked about cross-cultural thing. So how do you think about challenges in technical documentation teams when you go through this process?
Volume.
Somebody else has a question?
Okay. So cross generation.
Not
Global teams. One way probably to look at is do your own assessment, do your own discussions, have an outcome, and then have a discussion across teams. Yeah, maybe that helps. And
Will they be open, Roopa, to give you those?
within their own groups, they're open. The reason I got, when we come to this conference as well, we are always with our colleagues because that's our comfort zone. But then, when you go and interact with others, they are fine too, they're also wanting to interact. I think we also have a bias. That's an unconscious bias again. Or will they be open? They have the same question. Yeah? So we got to try that.
We have to hold mirrors up to all of us, each other, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, somebody else has a
Yeah, I had a question. Just switching the focus a little bit. evaluating writing for unconscious bias, because obviously that's the output a lot of us in the room are involved with creating, and this is how we communicate to customers. And I'm wondering, is there a way we can look at our own writing that we're producing and say, hey, this contains some sort of unconscious bias here?
You mean unconscious bias that we have as writers?
Yes.
Correct?
We're
And how we
making
put across
assumptions about our customers maybe,
yeah,
or
our
the style of
users.
language, or I don't really know what would be sort of good things to be thinking about as one writes to sort of check oneself and say, is unconscious bias going to be happening in this writing?
We did not find anything that is specific to, I'm sure, see this again, transcend is, as writers we look at it, I'm sure as UI experts also they would have the same question, right? Are we do user profiling based on our own ideas of what the user is. That doesn't mean that that's a user, right? We make a lot of assumptions in our life. So yes, that's a very interesting point. But I don't remember seeing any.
We don't have specific statistics related to technical writing.
I think we have come across
the reasons we put like choice of words and oral and written communication, and also the examples that we gave of native English speakers, we kind of associated it because we are technical writers ourselves. And other aspects, now that you question, probably I can think of is the English that we use. Is it American English? Is it British English? Because that's what goes to the customer. Especially you're touching base the customer, and how does it affect them, and how does it affect here and there and so on. So probably English, British English, American English. Maybe we have to rethink or re-look at our review processes, the copy editing and the language editing reviews, because I think that's the key. That's after that check is when our documents actually goes out to the customers. Yeah, probably the review as well. So there are tons of things that you could pick up and have a group discussion and scope it down to.
I think like in the user experience area, people look a lot at personas and what sort of assumptions people make from the personas.
Correct.
Looking at a medical field or something, maybe there's some stereotypes and personas, or.
And even when we do these personas, like you said, we are making some assumptions. We say Jack has something. Jack is 30 years old, and then he works as a system administrator in some companies. But we are doing that ourselves. Yeah, we have these, like Kiran said, we have our colleagues sitting across various other countries, geographies, yeah. So maybe they can do those personas for us, because that will be like real time. Yeah.
So we are becoming conscious of an unconscious bias very recently. I think this is a very new, because there aren't so many, a lot of companies are working, especially IT companies. I have not seen this in other manufacturing industry. They're still blissfully unaware. So they will also eventually catch up with us. Right now it's mostly in the IT space, where there are a lot of, especially companies like Google and all are taking this forward. Whatever videos you find are all from Google again. So it's a very fairly new space. So there's not too much of statistics available, but it is very, very interesting. And like you said, there's no end to what kind of unconscious bias there is, and that would be interesting. How do men write and how do women write? I would like to take a look at that. How does a baby boomer write? How does a Gen X or a Gen Y write? I'm sure there's a huge difference.
And I think it also changes the team dynamics.
Yes. That's why it's important to keep your team diverse.
We are running out of time. One last question.
It's not exactly a question, but when you talked about how male writers write and female writers, I have a feeling that from the beginning, women tend to be more self-effacing in patriarchal.
Is that what you think, or is it a fact?
We tend. That's not a fact. That's an opinion. So we maybe unconsciously we tend to write in a convoluted manner. We are never used to asking directly anything. This is also something a lot of feminism, feminist writing have explored. So you tend to go about it in a devious way.
No way!
I like that question. There are a lot of
tedious.
Devious.
I like that question. There are a lot of S and there are a lot of no's.
So this is a very debatable topic.
It's a debatable topic, and I like it that you got this as a last question. With that, let's break and have our discussions offline. You're free to come talk to me and Purnima, and we can form groups and let's take it
further
forward.
our unconscious bias. Please, let's transcend this. And as a takeaway, talk about this with your children, with your colleagues, with everyone. I think as a society, we need to be aware of our unconscious bias and not just, technical writers say it in harmony, make the society itself a better place.
With that, thank you very much for listening to us.
Thank you so much on behalf of us. Thank you so much, Purnima, on behalf of us.